And that's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened, Gage. I told you that's exactly what happened. TJ Watt, you can name a few other players. I can't right now. But the Steelers have guys that can change the game. He changed the game, I'm telling you. Welcome to the Third and Wrong YouTube channel. We are covering Week 2, and we're looking ahead to Week 3 for the NFL here today. But before we get going, we don't have Gage today, but we got Mikey. Mikey, how are you today?
I'm pretty good. Allergies are kicking my butt, but we're going to keep on rolling.
Hell yeah.
Keep on moving on.
My name is Dylan. I'm a Colts fan. Mikey's Patriots fan. I kind of misspoke there. But what we're going to be doing today, we're going to be covering Week 2 as it has happened already, and we'll go over each team's game. We're Colts and Patriots fans here, so we're going to go over those teams specifically a little bit more. And then after that, we're going to give you some predictions on what's going to happen with Week 3. It's not super in-depth, but it's, it's our take. It's our, our opinion. So hopefully if you appreciate that, you can continue watching. But before we get into everything, please drop a like, comment, and subscribe. Helps us out a bunch as a small YouTube channel trying to grow. But getting into that, Mikey, before we go to all the scores, overall, what was your impressions on Week 2?
It was all around solid football. Unless your name is Justin Fields.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's I think it's a little bit surprising some of the ways that the games ended out. But I think we're starting to kind of realize who the good teams are, who the good players are. Speaking of Puka Nacua, kind of putting his name on the board this week. Last week too. I think the first receiver ever to go 10 receptions over 100 yards in both of his first games in the NFL. So, that's a beast of a stat. So that's a big early surprise there. Good for the Rams, but we got a lot of other surprises to go over with. But Justin Fields is getting it this week. He has no friends this week, and then I can't really blame anyone for dogging on him because he had a terrible game. But
he did.
Let's start off with the Vikings and Eagles games. These scores hopefully aren't any spoilers for anyone out there. We're a few games out or a few days out from when these games happened, but we're going to talk about the Vikings Eagles. I think the biggest thing about this game, I don't think it was anything more than the Vikings couldn't stop the run, and the Eagles couldn't stop Justin Jefferson. So. It ended up being a little bit closer than what I think the Eagles fans wanted. But I think the Eagles are still top of the NFC East. Cowboys are making a real strong push to being considered there, but I think the Eagles still have the better offense. So we'll see how that plays out. But at least it was a good Thursday night game, unlike the Colts last year. That was an awful game. But moving on, we're just going to go with the order that ESPN has here. Packers, Falcons. I think this one surprised a lot of people, especially how the Packers came out and played against the Bears Week 1. They looked like the team to beat. But the Falcons, man, they got a solid defense. They got Bijan Robinson about basically fully unleashed at this point. They got a lot going in Atlanta. And, Desmond Ridder, he's not a spectacular thrower. He's not a star quarterback. But he's 2-0 right now, and they're looking pretty good.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, doesn't put up insane numbers, but, if you keep winning, you keep winning. That's all that matters is how many wins you have at the end of the day.
No, yeah, preach. Moving on, the Bills rectify their big loss from Week 1. Beating up on the Oakland Raiders, who were at one point AFC West leaders. Now they're kind of just tied with the Chiefs at this point, but
They are.
still in first place technically. Um, Josh Allen and the Bills kind of had their way here. I think the Raiders still need to do a whole lot more as a team if they want to be competitive. It's a tough call for Josh McDaniels, but they got to do something more with what they're doing.
They really do. Josh Allen only missed 6 passes. He was 31 for 37, 274, and 3 touchdowns.
Wow. Yeah,
that's very good. Only missing 6 passes and throwing 37 times.
Well,
I don't know if they're all his fault, if they were drops or hit the receivers in the hand, or if they were just terrible throws. But knowing Josh Allen, they were probably pretty decent throws.
Well, everyone was talking about Josh Allen's turnovers week 1, and no one's saying really anything about that game Josh Allen just had. So, when you're loud as a hater, you also got to be loud as a praiser. Kind of how it goes. But not a lot of people want to do that. This next game, Ravens Bengals. I think it's surprising that the Bengals have just looked as bad as they have this year so far. I think it's crazy. The Ravens, got to give it to them. They're always a tough team to play, especially within a division, with a division opponent. But they got a lot of stuff going on good. I really like Zay Flowers. Obviously, having their tight end in the game, Mark Andrews, helps them out a lot. But they're a regular season, just world beater, and so I think for the Ravens, it's still a question of can you prove it in the playoffs, and I think that's what we're going to wait for. We've been knowing that the Ravens are good, so not a surprise here, but kind of just a surprise that the Bengals are the way that they are right now.
Right. It's bad when Lamar is throwing better than your Joe Burrow.
Yeah, your second highest paid quarterback.
Yep. Not a good look. Step it up.
Yeah. Seahawks Lions. I picked the Lions in this one, if I'm not mistaken, in my guess.
As well.
Yeah. I thought that their offense was going to do a little bit more. But Geno Smith he's a darter out there. He's a sniper. He's spreading the ball all over the place. The Lions had a few interesting choices on defense. They got a lot of injuries, so it's a tough one to lose, but you can kind of understand with all the injuries that they had that it was just not in the game plan. So, but yeah, no good on the Seahawks. I think they have a good quarterback with Geno, and now it's just stringing in good defensive performances and pushing that forward.
They tried to write him off, but he didn't write back.
Moving on, Chargers, Titans, 2 back-to-back overtime games here. So Seahawks won overtime, Titans won overtime. Chargers just do not have any luck when it comes to overtime. They just get wiped every single time.
Coaching.
Yeah. Keenan Allen had a huge game. Kind of surprised me. He's a little bit of an older body out there, but Herbert's getting a lot of flack right now. The coaches are getting a lot of flack right now. They're definitely a team that shouldn't be 0-2.
Nope.
So, hopefully they can turn that around for themselves. I don't like seeing the Titans win. So, but I kind of called this going into it this week. I picked the Titans. A little subtle brag there. But, Titans are they're a good team when they don't commit a lot of turnovers and they kind of just keep the ball moving. Seems like they did that a lot this week, and that's what made them victors at the end of the day. Now to the fun one, Bears Buccaneers. I'm sure everyone has probably seen by now the missed reads, the missed throws. Justin Fields getting 2 hours in the pocket and can't hit someone wide open. I know I'm armchair quarterbacking at this point or coaching or whatever it is, but it's just interesting to see. I even saw something on X talking about how statistically Mitchell Trubisky is better through however many games that Justin Fields has played, that Mitchell Trubisky was better than what Justin Fields is right now. So poor Chicago Bears fans can't get a quarterback to save their lives. But meanwhile,
don't want to talk about it though.
Meanwhile, you got Baker Mayfield going 300 yards, a touchdown. Mike Evans being more than half of the yards gained.
Holy crap.
And the touchdown, 6 receptions for 171 yards. Baker Mayfield is playing really good right now. And when you juxtapose that to the quarterback in Cleveland, you start to wonder. You start to question things.
Hey, let Baker keep cooking though. Let the Baker bake.
Let the Baker bake. Next one here, we got the Chiefs and the Jaguars. This is a playoff potential matchup, so we might see this happen again later in the year.
I think so.
17 points is not a lot of points to give up if you're the Jaguars. The Chiefs held them to 9. So, I mean, obviously that's how you win. That's why the score is the way that it is. But I think this shows that this is a really competitive matchup. They got good defenses on both sides. One just happens to have Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce. So, I still think these are playoff teams. I think this matchup might even go in the favor of the Jaguars the next time if they can get a few things going their way. But the Chiefs kind of get their 2 stars back with Chris Jones and Travis Kelce, and now they're back to being not they're back to not being winless, if that makes sense. Yeah, they won their game. They're back in tied first place with the Raiders. All's well. Players catch footballs again. It's a great time to be a Chiefs fan.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we'll talk about the Colts and the Texans game.
Let's do it.
I brought up the box score here. We can kind of go over it. First off, the first thing that I'd talk about with the Colts is Anthony Richardson. Kind of what most people want to talk about when it comes to the Colts right now. Anthony Richardson had a great, first quarter. Took himself out of the game because he wasn't feeling right. Went into the concussion protocol, and he's still not out of it as of right now on Wednesday night. But before he left, he racked up 3 rushes for 35 yards and 2 touchdowns. One of those coming immediately off, I think either an interception or a strip. Yeah, it had to be a fumble because Stroud didn't throw an interception. But yeah, the Colts went from having 26 rush yards from the running backs to 88 with Zach Moss and 38 from their quarterbacks. But Anthony Richardson, made some good plays. He had a few misses, but overall, that short little span, he did a really good job. Sadly, he wasn't able to finish the rest of the game, but Gardner Minshew came in, had a near perfect game as far as the game manager goes. 19 for 23, 7 yards per completion, or maybe per attempt. I forget what that stat's based on. Touchdown, 90.5 QBR. Just a good overall game managing play there. Everything else, we just spread the ball around a lot on offense. A lot of people getting multiple targets. And then Zach Moss had all of the running back snaps. He was the only running back to get a snap for the Colts after their pathetic performance in week 1.
Pathetic.
Yeah. But, the story of the game, the Colts were up 31-10 at the end of the third quarter, kind of had the game on lock. And so, Gus Bradley puts us in, zone defense, bend, don't break. Let them, chew the clock with all these short passes. Stroud went from, I want to say 16 for 25 day to a 30 for 47 day. Went from 170 yards passing to 380 after the switch from, after we went up 3 touchdowns. So, I'm not saying CJ Stroud's bad. He definitely made a lot of great plays that the Colts obviously were still defending. But it is garbage time. It's not, it's not like he was getting it's not like they were torching us all game. It was just after we went into these soft zones, cornerbacks were playing 7 yards off their corner or off their wide receivers. So, Stroud did look good. His arm looked great. Nico Collins was busting us all day. But they don't have an offensive line right now, and that's the real issue for the Texans is they're on backups across the board, and they're not going to do anything. Yeah, they're not going to do anything until they get that fixed. So that's kind of how the game went. And we can move on to these next couple games here. Sorry, we got the 49ers and the Rams. It was a really good game, actually, I thought. Were you able to watch this one?
Yep, I watched a little bit of it.
Yeah, Matthew Stafford, 307 yards. Christian McCaffrey, 116 yards. Puka Nacua, 15 catches, 147 yards.
Just getting some touchdowns there.
Just the zone destroyer of worlds. He, sits in these soft zones. Very smart, very smart way of doing it, but he's just picking up yards left and right for him. But Niners, they have the better team. I don't think anyone's shocked by that. But the Rams do have a better team than what I think most people thought going into this year. They're 1-on-1, but I think they're going to be the top half of the league, if not a top 10 team this year potentially. They got to get Cooper Kupp back. They got to get some defensive magic going on again. But I like where the Rams are at, and then obviously the Niners are a top team in the league as well.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Brock Purdy is still slinging it. He's still undefeated in regular season, and his only loss was the Super Bowl where he broke his arm or tore his knee up or elbow or shoulder or whatever.
Yeah, it was his elbow.
Yeah. Sorry, my brain is just not firing as well.
It's all right.
Okay, so next one here.
I forgive you.
Worst game of the week, I think. I mean, matchup-wise, worst matchup. Ended up being a really good game. Is the Giants-Cardinals. Cardinals jumped out to a huge lead. I think they were up 28. They were up 28-3 at one point, I want to say.
Something like that.
Something like that. Maybe I was. Oh, it says here 21-point deficit. So 28-7. They were up at one point. But yeah, man, Giants came back and Daniel Jones, he was slinging it. Jalen Hyatt had a really nice deep ball. I think more than anything, just the Cardinals just don't have like a full team, and so yeah, the Giants kind of got embarrassed in the first half, but they were able to kind of pick apart that Cardinals defense, and obviously they came out with a W in a great fashion, great comeback. So good for them. But these teams are going to be the bottom feeders of their divisions and the conference. So, I mean, at least that's what it looks like right now. Maybe I'm wrong.
I was going to say it's bold statement. I mean, the Cardinals is true, but the Giants, they could be sneaky again.
They could be. Just a unfair matchup. Cowboys defensive line versus the Jets offensive line. That's the story of the game. Honestly, CeeDee Lamb had a hell of a game. Pollard had a great game too. But the biggest thing was Zach Wilson had no time.
Nope.
No one would have no time in that, or everybody would have no time in that on that offensive line. They were just getting bum rushed day in, day out. I think there was something like 70% of snaps they had pressure on the quarterback, which is unreal. So Cowboys just thoroughly dominated. Zach Wilson didn't have a great game, but I think most, if not all, players that had said something to the media said it wasn't Wilson. It was literally everything else. So just a rough game for the Jets. Hopefully they can kind of correct it against the Patriots next week.
Hopefully they don't. But
and then I think surprisingly one of the better games as well was the Commanders versus Broncos game. And just spectacular fashion to end it. Obviously, there was a little bit of a controversy with the PI at the end of the game. That's just how football is, in my opinion. You're always going to have bad PI calls that don't go in your favor. But the Commanders and Sam Howell were slinging it. they were doing a lot of great things. Just moving the ball. Eric Bieniemy has helped change this offense to a scoring offense and not just an offense that doesn't get in the way of the defense. So that's dangerous. Sam Howell, I think he's kind of living up to what his expectations were before his last year as a quarterback at UNC. He's kind of looking like the projected first-round pick that he once was. Brian Robinson having a hell of a game. Marvin Mims had a phenomenal game. And then obviously that Hail Mary at the end was crazy. But ultimately,
that was nuts.
Ultimately, Commanders get out a Mile High with a dub, and they're 2-0. Don't look now. You got 3 2-0 teams in the NFC East, and not a single one of those teams has a below 500 record at the moment.
Nuts.
But I'll kind of let you take this next one since it's your Dolphins and Patriots.
That was a decent game. I'm glad we kept it close again, made it look kind of competitive. That's all I can ask for. Yeah. We're playing literal bums on our offensive line, so.
For those that can't see the score, I'm trying to show it here.
24-17 Dolphins.
Yeah.
But all around, it was an okay game. Mac Jones needs a little bit more time in the pocket to be able to make his reads.
Oh, for sure.
Good Lord, watching that guy try and run, it's almost worse than Tom Brady. He's like a freaking mini gazelle out there as well, running the field.
Yeah.
But, once again, we're seeing some better stats from Mac Jones, so we're seeing improvement again, though. He's making good throws. He's spreading the ball around very, very well.
Yeah.
Our defense was playing good against a high-powered offense that just hung, 43 or 45 or whatever the week prior on the Chargers. We held them down pretty good. Christian Gonzalez had a good game against Tyreek Hill.
He did.
Christian Gonzalez was also the highest-rated corner in the league this week per PFF, so there's that as well. But we're 0-2. Last time that happened was 2001. We all know what happened then. Not 9/11. We won the Super Bowl. Jeez.
Gosh.
But I don't know. I'm just glad we're keeping these games competitive. I'm not expecting to beat these teams. I just want it to be competitive.
What would you say holds you back the most?
Offensive line. This is the first time in a while that we have had a bad line. Mainly because of injuries, but also our offensive line is now getting old from the guys that were good, and they can't stay healthy. We have a Mekhi Becton on our team known as Michael Onwenu. He's really good when he's playing, but it's really hard to get him to play.
Oh, man. Kind of like people mentioned that before the draft happened.
That he was injury prone?
No, that he has needed offensive line.
Yeah, I think I would hope that this next year we take it a little bit more serious and use a few of our higher draft capital on it instead of how we usually do in drafting guys at Chattanooga in the first round who people have never heard of, or wait until the 5th or 6th round to draft them and they absolutely suck.
Yeah. Well, I think the craziest part, you kind of talked about it with Christian Gonzalez, but Tyreek Hill, 9 targets, only 40 yards receiving. Devontae Parker and Hunter Henry had more yards receiving than Tyreek Hill.
Right?
Not everyone has a Christian Gonzalez on their team.
No, dude, I'm so hyped we got him.
Yeah.
He's so good.
Yeah. Honestly, it's crazy that he dropped that far. I think we'll say that every single week. But
oh, yeah.
Crazy to me.
Yep. The record says 0-2, but I think we're a little bit better than an 0-2 team, and I hope maybe other people will think so as well because we keep these types of games close. Bill Belichick being the defensive-minded guru that we all know he is, he knows how to game plan very well week to week for teams and to be able to shut down what they're good at, except we just couldn't shut down Raheem Mostert because that dude was electric.
Yeah, dude.
How old is that dude right now? That dude is 31 years old. He was running like he was 21 years old.
No,
he was running all over us.
Well, let's kind of carry on here. We got the two Monday night games that I guess you can call games. You got the Saints and you got the let me see if I can get this kind of back to where it was.
Panthers.
Saints, Panthers, Browns, Steelers. Just not great games. Honestly, I didn't really want to watch either of them. I ended up watching the Browns and Steelers one the longest. I have to say R.I.P. Nick Chubb's legs for the second time. Always tough seeing a guy like that go down, but I need to bring my receipts up here, Mikey. So I got receipts here, but Gage says dealing with the Steelers, huh? And I says I'm living risky this year. He's got anything to back up, or why are you picking them? So I said primetime rivalry game. Steelers and Tomlin seem to always step up. They have legit defensive players that are always threats to change the game. The Browns have them. The Browns have them too, talking about the defensive players that can change games. But I think most people expect them to win, and it seems like the expected winners lose a lot. And that's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened, Gage. I told you that's exactly what happened. TJ Watt, you can name a few other players. I can't right now. But the Steelers have guys that can change the game. He changed the game, I'm telling you.
Not in a good way, but he changed it.
Exactly.
He did.
I think I saw something. The Steelers did not get within the Browns' 30-yard line. As far as getting into the end zone and to score. They have a terrible offense, but because they had I think 2 or 3 really, solid defensive plays that kind of just changed the game for them. Oh, and the long, George Pickens 70-yard touchdown. That's what made the game. So, the Steelers need to stick with Jaylen Warren. Use him way more, please. Najee is not an NFL running back. I'm sorry.
What?
Browns have a legit defense. Their offense is just not there yet either, and I've been saying that for a while. But yeah, that was neither of these games were fun to watch. Panthers Saints, I did not watch. I think I saw a couple plays. I just did not want to watch any of that because the Saints are fine and all, but the Panthers just don't have a game plan. And then you have Frank Reich afterwards saying that, he's not going to give up play calling because it's not the play calling that's ruining anything. And he's seen this before. We're almost there, guys. We're just about to be a good team, guys. Keep on going. I've heard that way too many times over the last 5 years, and it's complete bullshit. So he's not built to be a head coach. I'm sorry, Panthers, that you have to go through 2 of these guys that just aren't really there. Hopefully you can get a real one next time, but until then, Bryce Young, just wrap him up in bubble foil or bubble wrap, and that's your best bet right now.
I think McDaniels is going to be, or Josh McDaniels is going to be looking for a job here soon. So
I don't know if I want Josh McDaniels in Carolina either.
Yeah, I wouldn't want him either. He's a terrible head coach as well.
Get Eric Bieniemy
coordinator though.
Yeah.
Ooh, there you go.
But overall, I think it was a good week. Let's see any shocking standings, if we may. Dolphins have the East locked up. The Ravens have the North locked up. The South is still garbage. There's a pretender in first place with the AFC West.
Pretender.
NFC East is kind of stacked right now. They got 3 2-0 teams.
Yeah.
NFC North is struggling. Vikings and Bears are bottom feeders right now. I think Packers have the best chance this year. Unless the Lions really, change what they're doing on defense, I think the Packers have the best shot. Falcons. Wow. three 2-0 teams in the NFC West as well. I don't know if I might be going Buccaneers at this point, man. I think the Buccaneers have the secret sauce right now.
It could, yeah. It's Baker Mayfield, baby. He's busy
in the kitchen cooking it up, dog.
And then the Niners, I think we all kind of know and realize the Niners are going to run it back. So,
yeah. I got to see the Dolphins. I got to see the Dolphins play the Bills one time before I say they have it locked up. But
I just mean like right now they got the 2-0.
That's
more what I'm saying.
I gotcha. I see.
Yeah, no, the Ravens don't have anything locked up. Anyone in the other than the Steelers, anyone in the AFC North can kind of come back and take things over again. But
yeah, don't forget about the Patriots. We can come back and win that division.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I mean, you just got to grind out a lot of games to do that, and by then you'd be too tired for the playoffs. But
yeah,
let's kind of shift gears. Let's kind of shift gears again. We're gonna go look ahead to week 3, and kind of give you our short opinions here on all the different games. We're not going deep. We're not spending 30-40 minutes on each game like they deserve, but. Let's go talk about a couple of these games. Mikey, are you expecting much other than a win for the Niners on Thursday?
I would assume that they are going to win.
That's how I feel too. It's in San Francisco. They got the team. New York's kind of a short trip. They got to fly all the way. Kind of had a rough game. Took a lot out of them. And they're not fully there as a team yet. So I think Niners kind of expected to win this.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll go Niners.
Niners as well. So Tennessee versus Cleveland. This is in Cleveland. What are you feeling like with this one? Are you feeling
Tennessee
easy?
Maybe. Yeah. What are you feeling?
I'll go Cleveland on this one. I think Tannehill's going to have a rough game trying to throw to anyone covered by Denzel Ward, anyone covered by Greg Newsome, or anyone covered by Grant Delpit at this time. You also have great linebackers to stop the run. I think the Titans get bottled up big time, and the Cleveland will do enough to edge out the Titans here.
Well, I can't change my answer.
Perfect. I'm convincing, man. I'm telling you. All right, Atlanta, Detroit. I'll go first on this one, and you can.
Yes, please.
You can do whatever.
Piggyback.
I think Atlanta, man. I'm kind of believing in this team.
That's where I was leaning as well.
Yeah, I'm believing
in
this team.
I believe in Detroit, but I think Atlanta has they have the momentum right now.
Yeah. Well, the thing with Detroit is they did lose a handful of people that really helped them out this year already. So Atlanta's rolling strong. I don't think Detroit's necessarily the best run stuffing team right now. Yeah, they're
gonna run all over them.
They're gonna run, man. They're gonna run. So I'm gonna go Atlanta there.
Bijan Robinson.
New Orleans, Green Bay. You get this one first. We'll go flip flops on these. What are you?
Packers.
Packers.
Got the pack, baby. Go Pack, go.
I can see that. This is the last game before Alvin Kamara is back. So those running backs aren't fully there yet. They're not the same caliber as Kamara. And I agree. I go Green Bay. I think they got a lot of stuff going well for them. They got a good defense. So I'll go Green Bay here as well. Denver at Miami. This is going to be in Miami, Hard Rock Stadium. Early game. I'm going to go Miami here. I think it's going to be a close game. In the 20s, but I think Miami, they do have just more as a team altogether. Denver's running back situation is not perfect. Their wide receivers aren't super great, and it's still Russell Wilson. So I'm gonna go Miami here.
I agree. I'm also gonna go Miami. They're just a better team right now.
Okay, Los Angeles Chargers. The Minnesota Vikings. Oh boy, what a matchup.
Vikings.
Vikings. Okay.
Kirk Cousins is absolutely slinging it out there. I saw a thing. It was like Kirk Cousins is on pace to throw for 6,000 yards, like 63 touchdowns and 6 picks, and have an 0-17 record. But he's not going to go 0-17 because he's going to beat the Chargers right here and still swing it for 400 yards.
That's fair. This is kind of the same thing. High-powered offenses, not great defenses. The only thing I'll agree to you is Minnesota, I think, having the cheat code wide receiver, Jay Jettas, I think kind of pushes them over the edge here. Also, you got a good tight end. You got, Cam Akers coming in. You got Madison, splitting the load a little bit. I can see Minnesota taking this one. All right.
Minnesota.
New England, New York, heated matchup. This is a tough one.
Jeez.
No, I'm gonna go New England here. If you can hush up Tyreek Hill and keep him to 40 yards, Zach Wilson's not doing anything. This is gonna be. It's not gonna be a blowout because I don't think Patriots have enough to beat the Jets defense as badly, but I think New England takes this one, and people start to shake in their boots with the New York Jets.
I actually haven't picked the Patriots once this year, so I'm going to pick the Patriots on this one though. The Jets haven't beat New England since December of 2015, so we're on a 14-game win streak against them, the longest in the NFL and active in the NFL and longest against any other team ever in the NFL. So I'm going to keep it rolling. Patriots over Jets. Close game, though.
Okay. Buffalo, Washington, who you got here?
Buffalo. I think they're just the better team. AFC's tough. AFC East is arguably the one of the hardest divisions in football, so... And, Washington, I know they're flying high right now, but them commies are coming down.
Yeah, I'm going to go against the grain here with the Commanders, man.
Oh, I think so.
I think so. Buffalo, I think they're getting a little confident now that they beat a, Raiders team, but that Raiders team, nothing, man. Washington's defense is much better than the Raiders. We might be able to see the week one Josh Allen come out again here. They're going to get a lot of pressure. And that offense with Washington it's different. Sam Howell is different, so I'm not super confident in it. I would say the Buffalo is typically the favorite here, but I'm going to go Washington on this one.
I was just going to say I don't think Sam Howell's going to be able to hang with the Bills defense. I think the Bills defense is going to get the better of them.
We'll see.
But hey, I guess we'll see who's right. We got receipts.
We do. All right. Houston, Jacksonville, just a lovely AFC South matchup to start your morning off right.
Next game.
Yeah. If CJ Stroud plays the whole game and is not on crutches by the end of the game, this will be a miracle for Houston. Jacksonville has a great defensive line, and if the wet toilet paper offensive line of Houston shows up in Jacksonville, it is going to be a bloodbath. I think this one's going to be just as bad as what it was with the Colts. But maybe they'll let CJ Stroud throw for 400 yards in garbage time again. Not salty at all on that one, but what do you think?
I'm guessing you went Jacksonville then?
Yeah, sorry, Jacksonville, 100%.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to lean Jacksonville as well. That's pretty obvious why they're just the better team all around.
Yeah.
I think they're going to get the better of CJ Stroud.
I'll let you go first on this one. Indianapolis, Baltimore, in Baltimore.
Is Anthony Richardson playing?
We don't know for sure. He's in concussion protocol.
I don't want to pull a gauge, though, but either way, I think I'm still going to pick the Ravens just because they're the regular season Warriors.
That's fair.
They do great in the regular season. So, and that's right now. And I mean, Indies, they're playing good. Defense is looking all right. Anthony Richardson on offense is doing all right, but if he doesn't play, it's not going to look good for the Colts out there with Gardner Minshew. So I think I'm going to roll with the Ravens on this one at home.
Okay. This one is just a bad matchup. I think for both teams, I don't think it's a favorable one way or the other. The Colts are great at stopping the run, and Baltimore has kind of just been good overall on defense. I don't think they're special one way or the other. They're just very good. But I think if I'm going to go, with my gut here, I think as far as offensive creativity goes, I'm going to give the Colts an advantage with Shane Steichen over Todd Monken. I think the Colts will be able to edge out the Ravens a little bit, unless, obviously, turnovers. But if the Colts can stick to their game plan and the Ravens can stick to their game plan, I think the Colts win the game. That's kind of my viewpoint there. Obviously, if it changes one way or the other, I just think the Colts will have a better game plan going in the game. Not that they're a better team. I just think they're going to be more prepared for the situation, and I think that they'll win this game.
That's fair.
Carolina, Seattle. Seattle's, to be fair, they had like 10 people not practice today, but it's probably because they saw the Panthers on their schedule and they're like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm going to take an extra day off. Seahawks win this one.
Yes, they do.
Yeah. Carolina, I swear I'm not trying to beat the dead horse, but they don't have an offense right now, and you can't go into Seattle with no offense and come out with a victory. So, yep, Seattle.
Very tough. Seattle, I agree.
Perfect. All right, how are you feeling, Chicago?
Oh, God.
Chicago, Kansas City. What are you thinking here?
No, I think Justin Fields is actually looking all right. I think he might show up there.
No, Chiefs, dude. Are you kidding me? Justin Fields is trash.
I saw something. This is like the first time ever that the most winningest quarterback is paired up with the least winningest quarterback in a head-to-head matchup.
Wow.
I think Patrick Mahomes has won nearly 80% of his games, and Justin Fields has won nearly 20% of his games. So this is wow, yeah. This is a bad matchup. Anything can happen in the NFL. All these games, anything can happen. Any given Sunday. But we're not.
It's not this Sunday.
We're not giving the Bears a chance here, and
no.
We can come back and make fun of us later if something happens. But we're pretty confident here. All right, another unbalanced game. Dallas, Arizona. Got to go Dallas.
That's just Dallas.
Yeah, you gotta go. You gotta go Dallas.
Cardinals aren't. They're tanking for Caleb Williams.
Hardcore. All right. Why is this a Sunday night matchup? And who do we put in jail for this? Pittsburgh versus Las Vegas.
Yeah, Steelers two weeks in a row primetime football. Jesus.
Who asked for this? Who wanted this?
Absolutely nobody.
Why are tickets $360 for this game? I guess it is in Las Vegas. Never mind. But still, this is a terrible game. This is I don't even want to watch this one either. I'm going to go Pittsburgh. It seems like they're turning things around with George Pickens and Jalen Warren. Maybe keep on doing that. Maybe keep on using your good players. I don't believe in the Raiders one bit.
I don't either. I'm going Steelers as well. Raiders only have one good person on defense, and that's Max Crosby. And if I'm Max Crosby, I'm real tired of everyone's crap right now, and I'm just going to stop trying. So, therefore, they have no one on defense. Give me Kenny. Give me Kenny. Jeez, give me Kenny Two Gloves for Pete's sake.
Oh boy,
I don't know why I couldn't say that there.
I don't think I'm turning this game on. To be honest, I don't want to give.
I'll turn it on just to make fun of everybody.
All right, Monday night games. We're getting 2 doubleheaders again, or we're getting a second doubleheader. We got Philadelphia at Tampa Bay, and then the Rams at Cincy. We'll start off Philly versus the Buccaneers. What are your thoughts here?
Dude, I'm going to go risky on this one. I'm going Bucks at home.
Ooh.
Baker's got the sauce right now. Am I going to be completely wrong? Probably, but I'm going to take one risk this week, and I'm going to pick the Bucks to keep rolling over them Eagles who have been struggling against everybody that they play.
See, the one thing is you fail to recognize what cycle we are in of the Baker Mayfield cycle. He's not looked at as being washed right now. He's not viewed as a terrible quarterback right now. He's actually looked at as a good quarterback right now. So, if so facto, he's going to have a bad game. And none other than the Philadelphia Eagles stacked lineup is coming to town. So, I'm going to go Philadelphia Eagles here. I'm banking on that Baker cycle being a law of nature. And then we move on to 2 teams that are in unsuspected territory, with the Los Angeles Rams on a high uptick and the Cincinnati Bengals on an extremely low down pointing trend arrow.
Is this where they turn it on though?
I don't know, man.
Is this where they get the band back together?
I don't know, because the thing is that the Rams have answers for anything that the Bengals will do on, when the Rams are on offense. But do the Bengals have that answer? Do they, can they turn around? Is Joey Burrow hurt? There's a lot of things going on here. I'm going to go bank on preseason projections here on this one. Just this one matchup. I think the Bengals start to get back to life. And I'm going to go Bengals here. Yeah,
I'm thinking the same thing. I think this is where the Bengals are going to turn it on. Monday Night Football at home. This is where everything's going to start clicking. The sparks are going to fly. Joe Burrow's going to start throwing touchdown passes to Jamar Chase, and everything's going to be right in Bengal land ever again. Or once again, I should say.
Yeah. Well, if you stuck to the end of this video, congrats to you. We appreciate it. If you haven't already, please drop a like. Also, for your comment, if you have any other, major projections out here, you got any, big upsets on the way, let us know in the comments. And also, if you haven't already, please subscribe. It helps us out a bunch. But any last words, Mikey?
If you're going to pick the Jets to upset the Patriots, I don't want to hear about that, so do not comment that. Thanks.
Yeah, don't comment that. Other than that, peace out. Enjoy week 3. We love you. Deuces.
Peace.